I am gonna do my signature brown, smoky eye, highlight contour, prep, like everything that you need to know when it comes to doing your makeup. So Petra here, I'm gonna ask her, how is your skin type? Is it oily? Is it dry? Is it normal? How is it normally?
It's pretty normal. I'd
Okay.
say a little bit oily, like in the T-zone.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm like, okay, she has an oily T-zone. Immediately I am going to control the oils on that area. Since she said she's normal, then she could just use like a regular moisturizer everywhere else. So I am going to begin with prepping her. It's really important to prep the skin before you do your makeup. You really want your makeup to, for one, look beautiful and stay on all day. And since we are going to do a full face, there's a lot of layering. So you want to make sure that that foundation is great. So I'm going to start off with some magic cream. Okay, I'm going to literally give you guys step by step as to everything that I'm doing. So I'm going to start off with some magic cream, which looks like this, Charlotte Tilbury. And this is a moisturizer that literally anybody can use.
So good.
It's so great.
It feels so good on the skin too.
So plumping. And I'm just going to put it everywhere but the T-zone. Okay. After we do that, I'm going to go in with Hourglass Veil. And this primer is really great if you have oily skin, if you have large pores. It's going to minimize pores. It's going to control oil. So I'm going to use Hourglass Veil just right on the T-zone because this is where mostly people get oily. And I love this because, again, I said if you have large pores, it'll really help to minimize it. On the chin, upper lip, forehead. Honestly, if you're like, you know what, I don't want to buy all of these like prep items, you can literally just use your regular skincare moisturizer that you have, but please use the Hourglass Veil. Just get that if you don't want to get anything else, because that will really help to smooth out your skin. Okay, after I do that, my favorite, eye patches. Okay, please do not buy these and use them like every day because they are expensive. So you only want to use them when you have a special outing. And they are so hydrating.
I love them. Every time you do my makeup, I'm like, yes, I can't wait for the eye patches. It feels so good.
So good. As you can see, there's like so much product on them. Okay, so these are called the Hyaluronic Cloud Hydra Gel Eye Patches. These are super hydrating. They have hyaluronic acid. They have caffeine in them. So it really helps to calm down like any puffiness underneath the eyes. It even helps over time with dark circles as well. And it just hydrates. So it really helps to smooth out any fine lines. So I'm going to go in and hydrate her lips too. I'm using Laneige lip mask. Super hydrating. So I'm going to match her hair color with my brow pencil. I am going to use Soft Brown Anastasia Beverly Hills, which looks like this. And I'm going to comb them upward. Just like this. A little bit this way. Perfect. Okay, the reason why I am combing them upward, yes, I want you to look like a lion when you do this. I want you to comb them up, and any like hair that is sticking up, I want you to kind of just comb those long hairs. I don't want you to comb the entire brow because then you're going to remove the shape of it. And we don't want to remove the shape of it. We want to keep the fullness of the brow, if that makes sense. So if you do this, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you do this, don't do this right after, because then you're literally just removing the shape of the brow. So what you want to do is you want to do this. And then any leftover long hairs, just kind of comb them downward because you want them to look full. Okay. So I am going to, right in here where her natural brow hairs will begin, even if you have hair missing, okay, you're going to create a line as if there was hair there. So I'm going to start here, very lightly, trace the brow all the way down till you hit the very end of your eye, like this. Till you hit the very end of your eye. So you should be able to do like an angle, okay? So even if she had missing hair, I would still do the exact same length, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't go like this and go up, like it would literally be the exact same length. Then I'm gonna go to the top. I'm not gonna go starting from the front because I don't like the square look. So I am going to start off towards the middle, go all the way down, and I'm just tracing where her natural hair is, like actually tracing where her natural hair is all the way down till we connect to the tip of the end of it. And I'm gonna comb them back up to full them to make sure that they are nicely shaped. When you pick a product, never place it directly to the front. You always want to start at the end because wherever you place product first, that is where most product will be. So you always start at the end. So I'm going to start at the end. And I pick up as I go. So don't pick up a lot of product first and then fill it in because it's harder to remove. So I just add a little bit as I go because it's easier to add on if I need more. So I always start at the end and I gradually go towards the front, just like this. And I'm just filling it in everywhere on my eyebrow, very lightly. Whatever's left over on my brush, I start lifting upward from the bottom where that line is and start lifting upward like this. So then now you have a filled in brow and it doesn't look super overly drawn with just the pencil. So I am going to apply a little bit on the back of my hand like this. I don't want to put too much. I just want to make sure that there's enough product on both sides. In the middle of my eyebrow, not in the front, I am going to trace right underneath, just like this. I'm going to trace long strokes all the way down to the very end. Then I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to use my finger and I'm just going to press it in like this. So you have a highlighted, lifted brow. I'm going to do the other side. I'm using this flat brush because it really picks up a good amount of shadow and primer, and I have more control. So I am going to apply this all over the lid. And here is a trick that I love to use. Anytime you're running late or you don't feel like doing your makeup, You can literally pop this on your eyelid and it removes any pigmentation on your lid. It removes any discoloration, and you can literally just pop in one color on the crease and it'll look like you're wearing two when really you just have on one color because we're using primer as a color. So I'm just applying it all over the lid, just like this. And when I start going up towards the brow, I even trace right underneath it, just like that. And I leave the concealer underneath the brow there because I want that part to be highlighted. So I like to start off by setting it with a little bit of powder first. So then when I glide eyeshadow, it will be so easy to glide on there. So I'm just going to set it. You literally don't have to buy like a brand new powder to do this. You can use whatever powder that you have at home. Just don't use a loose powder. Just use a compact powder. And I'm using a fluffy brush to do that. This is called a 224 crease brush. So I build as I go with shadow. I never just throw on one shade. Like if you tell me right now, like, hi, can I have a brown smoky eye? Like I'm not going to start with like this dark one on there and just throw it on there. Like you have to build your way up to a brown smoky eye. So I'm going to start right in here. So right where her lash ends, like right in there, you can fill in here in your eye, there's a pocket there. This is where your brush is going to go, okay? So I'm going to stick my brush there and I am going to do circular motions. So if you're ever wondering, like, where the heck is my crease? Just feel for the bone. And it's literally right on top of it. So see how it looks like she has on two colors and really she just has one, and it's because of the primer. So if you're ever running late or don't want to do your makeup, just do this little trick. Perfect. And if you ever just want to do a natural look, here it is. Put on some eyeliner, put on some mascara, and you're good to go. There goes your natural everyday eyeshadow look. I'm going to use the one right next to it. And I love this palette because it literally helps you. Like you can go light and then a little bit darker than that, then a little bit darker than that. So since I started with this one, I'm going to make it a little darker and going right next door. So I'm going to use the exact same crease brush that I used. I'm placing it here and I'm circling motioning it, or windshield wiper, whatever is easiest for you. But I'm stopping midway. The only difference is I'm not going all the way towards the brow. I'm just going right in here. Okay. I'm building the color so it can look ombre. So this is where you want most product to be, is down here. After you kind of just buff this out here by just going like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, then most of the product is off of your brush. You start lifting upward because it's starting to diffuse. And I'm going to use my other crease brush that I first started off with, and I'm just going to blend out towards the end like this. I am now going to move on to the lid color. So when it comes to applying your lid color, you can use shimmery colors, you can use matte colors, whatever you like best. I am going to use matte for today. I am doing a patting motion. Putting it all over the lid. So now I am going to go in with a makeup wipe to clean off anything that has fallen on underneath the eyes. So I'm going to take off the jellies And I'm going to use a makeup wipe. I'm going to put my finger in here and I'm just going to remove anything that has fallen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my wipe right in here where the water line is, like where the top and bottom of the water line meet, like right in the middle. I'm going to stick my wipe there and do a straight line. Okay. Then we are going to go in with eyeliner. Dun, dun, dun. The part that everybody gets a little nervous. So I'm going to start at the very end. Literally right above the lash, right at the very end of her last lash here, I'm starting. And I'm going to do a line. And I'm going to gradually go all the way to the tear duct. I'm using brown liner, by the way. Okay. Now I'm getting closer, making a little line, picking up more product, getting closer, picking up more product, getting closer, open. So now I have a very thin line, okay? So now I'm going to make it a little thicker, going right above it, open, and then I just gradually connect, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. I don't like to do one stroke because I just get too nervous. I'm like, I'm going to mess up. So I do little strokes. Look down. Now that the liner is perfect, right? I'm going to remove whatever's on my brush. So I'm going to just remove whatever's on my brush because I don't want there to be product on there when I'm doing this little line. I'm going to stick my brush right in the middle where the top and bottom waterline meet. I'm going to stick it right in there and make a little line diagonal to the end of the brow, okay? So it's kind of like if they kept going, if the lines kept going, they would eventually meet. So you make a line all the way across to connect to the line that you already created, okay? And then you fill it in. Open. Just like that. Eyeliner, they're sisters. They're not twins. So you just want to make sure that they're going the same direction. They don't need to be identical because you're going to have lashes on anyways. So it's going to cover it. Okay. I like to tight line. So let me show you what that is. So look down. It's right above the water line, right above, right in here. That is tight line. That gives you more of a fuller lash and it makes everything come together at the end. So it just makes your lash line look so dark. Okay, look up for me. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of liner on the bottom. So I'm going to go in and now put some shadow underneath the eyes. So now I'm going to put this color all over from the end all the way to the front, just like this. Okay. I'm going to pick up a little bit more. So now after I do that, I am going to go in with a little bit of mascara. Look down. And I'm just going to comb the lashes. Perfect. The reason why I like to do mascara before I apply false lashes is because I want to remove all of the shadow that has fallen on her eyes. Now, these lashes I love. They are so natural but wispy and a little fluffy, and they're only half lashes, so you don't have to like hurt yourself with doing a full lash if you ever struggle with applying false lashes, like the whole strip. These are so great. And you want to first start off by at the very end of your eye where the last lashes. You're going to stick it there. Okay. These are half lashes, so it's so much easier than the regular lash. Open. And they give you like a really pretty, wispy, full effect. And it looks like you have lashes all the way across when really you just have on half of it. Now let's move on to foundation. I love these e.l.f. brushes. I'm like, have I been living under a rock? I look at her face. She's a little tan here. And I can see from her undertone that she has golden undertones. Okay. So I am going to use a cool tone. And I'm going to start off at the cheek part. Okay. I always start off at the cheek part. Okay. The reason why is because that's where most coverage is needed. But I am going to start off by just applying this foundation specifically on the T-zone here, on her nose. I really want to get that area a little mattified. I'm going to apply a little bit of Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I absolutely love this foundation. It is phenomenal. It is pricey, I will say that, but just use it when you go out. I want to make sure that I get every crevice around her face. Every part of her face is going to be covered up with foundation. I want to make sure that if you have areas that need a little bit more love,
I like that.
You get your brush, add more product, and you literally like stipple it in those areas. So let's say your blemishes are not covering up. They're like, Jasmine, that trick did not work, girl. Like, I have some acne that I need to cover up, and they are like so bad. Like, what do I do? So I grab a concealer that's really close to my foundation shade, like my skin shade. And I'm going to literally dab it, okay? Pick some up and dab. Okay? So you do this after your foundation. So you do your foundation and then you get your concealer and you dab. Like this. And you're just dabbing. I am going to use custard and I am going to apply some right on the inner and outer. Okay. I'm going to use a sponge like this. This is called Paw Paw sponge. You can get this from Amazon. You can get like it's like a 10 pack and it's like $8 or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press it into the skin. Do not be afraid of the amount of product that's on there because blending is the secret. Okay. Blending is the secret, guys. So do not be afraid to put on a good amount. You guys are probably gasping like, oh my God, that's so much concealer. But it's going to be all blended. So it's going to totally be fine. Okay, so I'm going to blend it. I don't pass the nose. Do not pass the nose. And you're going to bring it up high. Okay. Drag it all the way up to the sides. And then you get into these little crevices here. Be careful when it comes to your wings when you have on concealer. So I always just grab like a little brush. I grab a little brush and I kind of just trace the wing. just like this. Just give it a little trace. When you're doing your own makeup, you probably won't even need to do that, to be honest. But I did it because I can't go in there with this sponge like how I want to. Okay, after you have on your concealer and your foundation, we are going to go in with a little bit of bronzer. And I like to apply it on the back of my hand to make it really soft and blendable. So I'm going to apply it at the top of my side, like the sides of my cheek. So where your ear is, this is going to be your guide to start there. Okay. And I'm going to press it in. I'm not going to do any powder just yet. We're doing creams first. And I'm going to put it right on the forehead, like you're literally on your hairline. You are on your hairline. Like you want to look like you just got kissed by the sun. So you are on the hairline, just like this. Okay. So you're doing like a 3 on the sides of your face. A 3 and an E. Okay. After you do that, we are going to do a slight contour. So I'm going to start from the brow, the top of the brow, and I'm going to go all the way down. So right where we had that concealer right in the center, I'm putting bronzer on right on the sides of it. So then you get that perfect illusion of a smaller nose. Just like that, okay? Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of liquid blush. I'm gonna grab that same Sephora 47 brush that we used to apply the contour, and I'm just gonna dust it off and use it for blush. And I'm gonna have her smile. I apply it at the apples, and I'm gonna rise it up to blend in with the bronzer. So when you are ever wondering, like, where the heck do I place the blush? You always go higher. Put a little bit on the apples and you go high because you want to lift the face. I'm using like a pretty like baby pinky blush. Now, after we have all of the creams done, now we're going to set it and forget it. Okay. We're going to set it and forget it. So I go back in with my sponge. I am going to just blend out underneath the eye because we crease underneath our eyes with concealer. So if you do not set it with anything, it's going to continue to crease. So that's why I do this right before I'm about to go into powder, because it creased a little bit while I was sitting there. So I'm going to grab my puff. I'm going to pick some up here. And I am going to melt it on the back of my hand. This is literally like my paint palette. Okay. You're probably wondering, like, why are you melting it on your hand? It's already getting warmed up to the skin, getting used to the skin. So when I apply it onto underneath your eye, I don't have a lot of fallout. I don't have fallout from the product, and it can literally just stick perfectly right underneath, just like this. I am going to use Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC. I depotted them, so that's why they look like this. Normally, obviously, you can get one just by itself. I'm going to use my puff again. Okay. So it sets it in place. It makes your skin look like skin. I just pick up some and I just dab it onto the face, and it gives you like more coverage without it looking like you have on all this makeup. After I set that, now I'm going to use regular bronzer, powder bronzer, and an angled brush. I'm going to start at the pointy, where the point of my ear is. Okay, that's my guide. Starting here, and I'm pressing it in, just like this. Down to the jawline. I am going to set the nose, because we did contour the nose with cream, so I got to set it. So I'm using a crease brush. Honestly, you can use a crease brush that you used for your shadow. You don't need to buy a million brushes, just to set it just like that. I'm going to pick some up, and apples a tiny bit, apples, and you're going to lift. So now let's do highlight, okay? I am going to just give you that perfect glow, that J-Lo glow that everybody loves. I'm going to use this palette from Dior, okay? And I'm going to use a highlighter brush. So I'm just going to pick some up. I'm going to use this gold, and I'm going to put it right here. So right here on the like right above your cheeks, right in here. That is where you place the highlighter. So then when you turn, you're like, ooh, I'm just J-Lo today. Gonna apply it there. Okay. Then I'm gonna apply some right on the center of the nose, a little bit on the forehead, just like this, a little bit on the chin. This is what I call the final 5 steps that bring everything together. My favorite brow gel, which you're probably gonna laugh, it is literally a glycerin soap from Whole Foods, guys. I'm not kidding. And I am going to pick some up with a little spoolie, like this, okay? Like a little mascara wand, okay? And I am gonna comb them up. This is gonna remove any powder or foundation that got on them. Remember, we want to be a lion, like I told you guys in the beginning, and just comb down the long hairs because you still want that fullness, okay? Now, I'm going to grab the same exact shadow that we used on the crease. Remember, the first one that we started with the exact same brush that we used to apply underneath. I'm going to pick up that color again, okay? Look up. Start at the end and going all the way to the front, like this. Here's a trick, guys. We have fine lines underneath the eyes. So I always drag down my eyeshadow just a tiny bit more. To camouflage them. So now we have shadow dragged down a little bit more, and you can't really tell the fine lines. I don't like to go too dark on the under eyes unless I'm doing a very dramatic smoky eye. So that crease color that we used, the brown, to smoke out, I'm just going to pick up a little bit, look up, and I'm only going to put it on the outer. Just like that. Pick up a little bit, put it on the outer. Look up, only on the outer, midway. Stop middle of the eye. So I'm going to pick some up. My favorite mascara that I was telling you guys about, L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It's the best. Okay, so look up for me. Going to do the bottom lashes. Please wear bottom lashes. Or apply mascara on the bottom lashes. I feel like if you don't, you just look kind of bald under there. So I just feel like it just kind of brings everything together. So pretty. My gosh. And then whatever's left over on my wand, look down. I just grab a little bit more and just apply some on the top. I'm going to put a little bit of lip liner, lipstick, and gloss, and we will be good to go. I'm gonna go in with Honey Love lipstick from MAC. Wow, I'm just shouting out MAC today. One of my favorite lipsticks. It's my favorite nude. So I'm going to use Anywhere Caffeine. When you are overdrawing your lips, don't overly do it. I just follow your natural lip line, okay? And I just press a little harder. So I'm just tracing your natural lip line and just pressing my pencil a little harder. So whatever like falls over, that's like my overdraw. And then I'm gonna grab a little gloss. Okay, it's 001, this is the pink one. Only apply lip gloss on the center, not everywhere. It gives you a natural pout and it makes an illusion that you have bigger lips. I even go over the Cupid's bow just a little bit. And when you have on your lip at the very end, you can see sometimes the lip washes you out. So I always add a little bit more bronzer. I always add a little bit more blush. It just depends if you feel like you do need it. Sometimes you don't. You're like, oh my gosh, no, I look perfect. I don't need to add anything more. But I'm going to add a little bit more bronzer. Because why not? Blush is the first to go, by the way, guys. So if you're ever wondering if you need to add more blush, please do, because it's always the first to go. It fades the fastest on your face. And after this, I'm going to set it and forget it. My favorite setting spray is from One Size. It's absolutely amazing. It's waterproof. It's mattifying. And you're probably wondering, like, well, if I'm dry, should I still use this? So if you are dry, I activate it with a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury spray, which looks like, where is it at? Here it is. This is a great one to hydrate first, okay? This will give you a little bit of hydration. Let that sit in, and then you can spray this, because this baby is like hairspray for the face. It makes your makeup not move. There you have it, guys. This is the full look.